Hey everyone, Richard Taylor here doing this Final Cut Pro TV live event. We're going to go over some Final Cut Pro news, current news, and we have a special guest that's going to stop in about 20-25 minutes or so. And I have a tutorial that I'm going to go through with you. It's all about color balancing, not color correcting now, color balancing. It's a whole different ballgame. It's more for us non-colorists. So first, let's go through some news. I'm going to go through some updates that have happened of software that I like. First one we have here is Final Cut Library Manager. It's been updated to version 3.5. They just updated it. So Final Cut Pro Library Manager, one of the reasons I really like it is it catalogs your Final Cut Pro libraries, even if they're not mounted. Once you catalog a hard drive, the library remains in its database. So you can find that on arcticwhiteness.com, Final Cut Pro Library Manager. You can duplicate, move, delete, access to exported media, export to CSV. I think that's a new feature that they have incorporated. You can create templates. That's one of the things I really, really like. So when I create templates, I have a certain scheme that I have when I make a library, certain smart collections, certain folder structure that I use, and I used to make templates manually. Sometimes I still do in the Finder, and just duplicate it when I want to start a new project. Well, with Final Cut Library Manager, you can make templates based on one of your existing projects. And also in the advanced version of it, you can make notes for each project. You can do things with cache files, you can delete cache files, you can see which libraries are online versus offline. A lot of handy features. Another piece of software that I really like is Kino. Though Kino has also just been updated. I think it's 1.4. There's a free 30-day trial. Kino it takes media off your cards or your existing hard drives and takes it off, and it manages it. One of the things I really like about Kino is you can batch export markers as stills. So if I'm reviewing a clip, a movie file that's on one of my cards, I can go through and place markers everywhere that I like to have a still, and I can batch export all those markers as stills. That's one of my favorite features. What else do we have here? Oh, here we go. This is a great one. Titlemations by Ripple Training. So if you go to Ripple Training and click on the Titlemations link, Titlemations is a title plugin. They just updated it to 3.0. So one of the things I like when a developer does this is they give you major updates for free. So I bought Titlemations at version 1. They updated it to version 2.0 for free. Now they've updated to version 3.0 for free if you bought one of the original versions, either 2 or 1. But if you go to their website right now, rippletraining.com, and click on Titlemations link, you can save 20% on your first order if it's your first order like you see there. But anyway, Titlemations It's on sale for $39. Normally it's $59. It's available. You can go through rippletraining.com or the FX Factory plugin, FX plugin. So they have it in there as well. So it's on sale for $39. It has all kinds of neat animations for titles and stuff. I got to keep my iPhone from going to sleep here. So what else do we have? So on the last episode of Final Cut Pro Radio, we had two great guests, as usual. Producer Girl. If you didn't listen to it, you can find it on iTunes or fcpradio.com. Producer Girl she loves Final Cut Pro. She uses it to edit. She has over 21,000 followers on Twitter. 21,000. Not 2,100, 21,000. She talks all about the things that she does with producing TV shows, but she loves Final Cut Pro. And then also Sam Messman's on that one, on that version of Final Cut Pro, and Final Cut Pro Radio, and he talks about one of the things that LumaForge is going to have at NAB, which I think is brilliant, the grievance booth. You can go and complain, and they'll videotape you complaining about anything post-production. Doesn't have to be about Final Cut Pro, anything post-production. So you can complain about Premiere, you can complain about Avid, you can complain about anything you want, and they are going to record it. And somebody will be editing it, I'm not sure. I don't think it'll be Sam. I think it'll be somebody else. Maybe Gergana or Patrick Southern, I bet. So also another big update, Logic 10.4.1 came out. So 10.4 came out with Logic's usual incredible amount of updates. I mean, dozens and dozens and dozens of list items it has for new effects, new features, bug fixes. I mean, it's just incredible what they do. But they had some bugs. I use the audio editor quite a bit, which is if you click on a file, it expands into the audio editor and you can do more precise editing. They had a bad bug in there where when you clicked on they have a marquee stripe which goes across all the tracks, it would jump to the top of the track list. So the clip you were working on, if it wasn't the top one, would disappear. That's been fixed. Logic 10.4.1. If you have Logic, go ahead and download that. So speaking of updates, we're still on Final Cut Pro 10.4, right? There hasn't been an update in 3 months now. So I'm suspicious. If we don't get a Final Cut Pro 10.4 update in March, I think they might be holding it off to debut it at NAB. I have no way of knowing that for sure, but I think that is certainly a possibility. Because normally, when 10.2 came out, we had an update in 30 days, bug fix, maintenance update. When 10.3 came out, we also had an update within 30 days. Well, 10.4 came out in December, no update in January, no update in February. This is the third month with no update so far. I'm not saying it won't come out in March, but if it doesn't come out in March, look for it. This is just from me at NAB. So let's talk about NAB a little bit. There was a discussion a while back about Apple presenting a big booth at NAB. And, there's pros and cons to that. But last year at NAB, Apple had organized events all over the place. They had one at the FCP Exchange, FCP Works, where they announced their 2 million seats there. you had the Guru gathering that night. You had LumaForge all day with, I would say, the majority of their presentations at the Faster Together stage was Final Cut Pro related. So that 3 days, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, a lot of Final Cut Pro stuff. And then Tuesday night was the Super Meet. Thomas Grove Carter presented there. The Final Cut Pro team, a couple of the people were there. They manned the FCP Works edit station. You could just walk up and talk to them. So that was Tuesday. And then Wednesday, once again, all day at the Faster Together stage, they would come in and they would come and go there. So they were there last year. But this year, they're even more going to be there even more. So first we start out with Final Cut Pro 10, Post Without Limits, from the FCP Exchange, fcpexchange.com. So the sponsors are FCP Works, Future Media Concepts, LumaForge, of course, and Ripple Training. Those 4 juggernauts in the Final Cut Pro community are teaming up for this event. So let's see what we have on the agenda. We have Apple Product Marketing presentation. We have Secret Genius, a broadcast case study from Ben Joshua of Brian Garden Media. We have the making of the most viewed YouTube video ever with the director. From what I understand, that video has over 4 billion with a B views on YouTube. Now was edited with Final Cut Pro 10. We also have Trending Gold, 360 videos in Final Cut Pro for the Olympic channel from Miles Perkins. We have, of course, Steve and Mark from Ripple Training, workflows and plugin presentations. I bet they'll be showing Titlemotions 3.0. And this is the first time that I've seen these guys at a Final Cut Pro event, specifically Atomos and DJI with workflow presentations. Okay, the date is Monday, April 9th, 2018. Time is 5 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. in Las Vegas Convention Center, room S219. The event starts in 33 days. Registration, free. Registration, free. Can you beat that? Then we're going to be followed that evening by the 2018 Guru Gathering. Usually Steve Martin has put that on over at the Hard Rock Cafe in Vegas. I went there last year. Let's learn more about that. So the Final Cut Pro Guru Gathering is $25, and that includes a meal of some sorts. I'm not exactly sure what kind of meal it is, but it's some kind of a meal. And here's some of the gurus that are going to be there. Very nice. And we're going to cut to our live guest. And I'm not sure exactly. This might have a little bit of an issue, but we'll find out there. I got to hook up an earphone for this because we have audio echo otherwise from my testing yesterday. Let's see how this is going to work. Hold on one second. And the other thing is Faster Together, LumaForge. This is what they did last year. all the presentations they did last year while I'm getting ready for Patrick. Dozens of presentations. A lot of them are Final Cut Pro related. Some of them there were not, but a lot of them there were. These are all the videos. They did multicam. They did a multicam setup. I streamed a lot of them live. Over here, I streamed live when I was there, and I'm planning on doing the same this year, but who knows how that's... Of course, we are dependent on internet. So either got to have it on my phone or I got to have it through the actual NAB place. So we have a guest. We can handle it.
Yeah, we can work through that.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I know you know who this is. Patrick Southern from LumaForge.
Hey guys, how's it going?
He's so when I saw him at the Final Cut Pro Creative Summit, he was the star of the presenters there, one of the stars.
Oh man, I appreciate that.
He was very professional, very organized. He had great crowds there.
Yeah, I was.
So Patrick, what's up?
Oh, we've got a number of things that are going on. I don't know if you did. Yeah, you just mentioned Faster Together. We are doing Faster Together again this year. This time it's going to be in the South Hall as opposed to at the hotel across the street. So we'll actually be in South Hall Lower at booth number S.
What happened?
Go ahead.
What happened there? You guys, did you make a lot of money last year?
Not because of Faster Together directly. We didn't, it's a free event. But we, well, honestly, we have a new vice president of worldwide sales, and he's been making a push for us to actually be on the floor at these events as opposed to on the outskirts. So therefore, we've been making a push to be present on the floor. So that's where we get, LumaForge in the South Hall. Booth S112
Excellent.
LMR for those who want to know.
So you have
go ahead.
You have more than just the Faster Together, though, right?
Yeah. For those who remember last year, we had a workflow suite at the Encore. We're going to be doing something similar to that. We don't have the details worked out exactly, but it's going to be near the Faster Together stage. So Faster Together and Workflow will be in the same building. They'll be in the South Hall this year, as opposed to one being, at the Encore and one being at the Marriott. They're going to be both in the South Hall. So should be a lot easier to get to and from the hangout area and the presentation area.
So one of the things when I was at NAB last year, Bill Davis took me on this whirlwind tour.
Yeah, I saw
loud.
It is.
It was loud. I mean, it's just so many people and everything. So Faster Together is in a separate room, right?
Yes, it's in a conference room at the back of the South Hall. So
Excellent.
There will be a sound barrier between us and the show floor. You'll probably still hear the murmurings of the show floor, but it should be contained and not as big of a deal as if it was just right there in the middle of the show floor. So it'll still be a little bit of a respite. Yeah, absolutely.
So either you got a raise and you can now afford glasses, or your eyes are getting worse and now you're wearing glasses.
I think it's I'm now realizing that I have had astigmatism for 10 years and it's time to address the issue as opposed to just not seeing things.
Okay, well, that's a good deal.
Yeah. No, my eyesight's, starting to go a little bit, but thankfully with these I can see the screen pretty well in focus. That's a good thing, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Especially when you're editing, right?
Yeah. It's good to be able to see things pretty clearly when you're editing. Unless I was editing just audio all the time, in which case I guess it wouldn't matter as much. But
Well, you could still
yeah,
look at waveforms.
it's it is a shortcut to be able to look at waveforms. That's for sure. Yeah.
So, how many things do you have to tell us today? Because I have one I want to ask you about.
Sure. Well, today is kind of the big announcement day for Faster Together, in that there is a fastertogether.com. So if you go to fastertogether.com, you can keep up with everything that's going on. And today we're going to start rolling out announcements about who's going to be involved. So today, here, let me bring up the list so that I don't speak out of turn. But we do have 6 presenters to announce, and they are, um, well, I'll I'll try to go. I don't want to give the big one away initially, but we've got, well, they're all big. That's difficult. We've got Valentina V, who's going to be coming and talking to us about being flexible in your workflow. We've got Tony Gallardo, who was there last year, talking about Fusion last
Yep.
year, and he's going to be going a little bit deeper. So last year we kind of got a skim over the top of, you know, uh, what you can do in Fusion for motion graphics. And this year he's going to go a little bit further into some specifics about using nodes within Fusion. We've got Rachel Bogan, who is from Renegade Digital Post, and she's going to be talking about more the business side of being an editor and how to get and keep clients and that sort of a thing. We're also going to have Keenan J. Mock, who is the senior media archivist at Lightiron, and he's going to talk about archiving, best practices, that sort of a thing. And another repeat from last year, we're going to have Michael Cioni. So Michael Cioni's in.
You
And
are?
yeah, yeah. Michael Cioni is going to be there.
He didn't learn from coming there last year?
I'm sorry, what was that?
He didn't get any grief from coming there last year?
I guess not enough to keep him away. So yeah, Michael will
There
be
you go.
joining us
That's
again.
fantastic.
And last but not least, we're going to have Josh Beal, who is one of the editors on House of Cards and Bloodline, and is currently working on a project for Stars called Counterpart with J.K. Simmons. So he's going to come and talk about Final Cut 10 for Avid editors. So we've got the beginnings of a
Wow.
great lineup. We'll have more people to announce over the next few weeks. We've got a few people who have committed to it, but we just still have to find a time for them to make sure that we don't have any conflicts in schedule. But as those are fully confirmed, then we'll start announcing them slowly through the Faster Together website and through social media.
That is excellent, Patrick. Fantastic.
Yeah, we're pretty excited about it.
Do you have anything else you want to talk about? I have to go get my power supply for the MacBook or it's going to cut off.
Oh, you better go
I'll
get
be
that
right
power
back.
supply.
So you go ahead and talk.
Sure. I can certainly do that. Yeah, go get that power supply, Richard. Oh, now I'm hearing myself, which is all sorts of fun. Yeah, so other than those 6, we do have a good lineup coming. We've got a few panels that should be interesting that we're working on. For those who enjoyed the State of the NLE panel last year, we're going to have something similar to that this year. As details become available for that, I'll feed that out to the world. Let's see what else. We're 3 days. 3 days. We're going to be Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. You aren't going to have to sign up online for anything special. You'll be able to go directly to the door and use your badge to get in, just your exhibits pass badge to get in. I think they may have discontinued use of discount codes, but we do have a discount code if they are still running. So for those of you who are looking for a discount code, we've got discount code LV, like Las Vegas, 7382. So if you haven't already signed up, try using that code. I'm not sure that they still work. So we'll find that out, I guess, via experimentation.
We're good.
Awesome.
We're good.
I was just
I don't
telling.
know why this
everybody-
MacBook was.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just telling you that I was sharing our free exhibits passcode with everybody in case they hadn't already signed up for NAB.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the room last year is how many people?
We
How many
had
square
seating.
feet?
Oh, I don't know the square footage last year. We had seating for about 50 people, and we had standing room only for a few of the presentations, including Michael's. So if you are wanting to go to Michael Chione's presentation, get there early. And same, my
Absolutely.
gut instinct says the same is going to be for Josh Beal and for actually Rachel and Keenan and Tony. Like those are all the ones we announced today. They're all big draws. So if you're wanting to go to their sessions, make sure that you show up a good 15 20 minutes before the session. Otherwise, there may not be room.
So
but
that's
like last year, they're going to be
fastertogether.com.
taped. Yep. Fastertogether.com. That's right.
And you're not charging anything.
Correct. It's 100% free. If you go to fastertogether.com, you can actually sign up on like a newsletter kind of a basis to find out more as more news is announced. But to actually get into the room, you just need your exhibits pass from NAB.
So what I wanted to talk to you about was this grievance booth. Do you take
Yeah.
political grievances or just post-production?
I think the idea is to be post-production centric, but we're not sure where it will physically be located, but best bet is going to be the workflow suite next door to Faster Together. But we're still working out those details.
That's excellent. I love that idea. Now, whoever thought of that deserves a raise.
Yeah, I think that may be Sam or Josh's idea. So more money
Well, they don't
for
get a raise. They already.
the president and CEO, I suppose, huh?
There you go.
Yeah, but it should be fun. It should be fun.
Absolutely.
What are you most excited for about it, NAB, Richard?
Well, I'm excited about all the Final Cut Pro stuff. So starting on Monday, we have Faster Together all day.
Yes,
Now,
we
I
do.
realize that you're not 100% Final Cut Pro, but you are. Last year, you had maybe 60% Final Cut Pro related.
Mm-hmm. Well, and Monday should be
So
almost
that's Monday.
Monday should be almost all Final Cut Pro at Faster Together.
Oh, excellent. Excellent. And then 5 o'clock, we go to FCP Exchange
Mm-hmm.
for an hour and a half. And Apple Marketing is presenting again.
That they are.
Last year, they announced the 2 million seats of Final Cut Pro there. Then we get a
Yeah, that
little
was.
break,
Yeah.
and we go to the Guru Gathering. Now, here's the curious thing about both these events.
Mm-hmm.
Future Media Concepts, FCP Works, LumaForge, and Ripple Training
Yes.
are all involved with both events.
Correct.
That didn't happen last year. So
Figured we ought to work together.
I agree. I think it's fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, we're all friends, and this is all one big community. You know, of Final Cut 10 enthusiasts. Might as well, you know, pull our resources.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
Well,
what happens? Are you going to go to the super meet, Richard?
yes, Tuesday night super meet.
Very nice.
And I don't, has there been any Apple thing announced for there yet?
For the
Final
super
Cut Pro
meet, not that
related?
I've heard of. Is there anything you've heard of?
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh, I heard that they're trying to get something there.
Oh, okay. Well, let's hope they do.
If they don't get anything Final Cut Pro related, we're going to call it the semi super meet.
That's good.
That's for Michael Horton and Dan Berube to realize. That's what we're going to call it, the semi super meet. So
Oh,
get
for
something
sure.
from Final Cut Pro there for sure.
Yeah,
Last year
yeah.
they had Thomas Grove Carter.
That's kind of hard.
So,
It's hard to beat Thomas Grove Carter. He's pretty spectacular as a presenter.
well, bring him back again.
Why not, right? Yeah, I think that's a good
Exactly.
idea.
Just snap your fingers and he's there.
Yeah, it's not like he's got a, you know, cross ocean flight or anything like that to, you
No,
know, to
exactly.
fair. Well, Richard, that's all the news I have for today.
All right. And we're going to continue Final Cut Pro TV Live. We have a tutorial
So,
coming up and maybe one or two more announcements. By the way,
wonderful.
there also is going to be a Final Cut Pro TV Live tomorrow at 3 p.m. We're going to be interviewing Bradley Olson live, my friend
Well,
and
cool.
co-editor.
Well, Richard,
So,
thanks for having me.
sure thing, Patrick. I sure appreciate it.
Yeah, certainly. Thank you very much. I'll join the crowd now
Hey,
and watch.
Final Cut, the NAB is only like 33 days away.
Oh my God.
It's just almost around the corner.
Yeah. Oh
All right,
man.
Patrick. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
Thanks so much, Richard. Talk to you later.
Bye. So there we have Mr. Patrick Southern from LumaForge. I'm going to take this earpiece out. I don't need it anymore. Fantastic there. Turn that down. So Final Cut Pro TV, we're going to try to do these live events every so often, especially when there's a news update on Final Cut Pro, anything major happening. Let me put that down there. And now we are going to stop that one. So one of the things with Final Cut Pro they have is colorists like the color wheels, and colorists know how to use the color wheels very well. I'm learning curves and wheels. Ripple Training has some great tutorials on it, but there's some other features that editors can use called balance color. Now, when I did this tutorial, I was surprised at a few of the things that I learned about it. So we are going to do the tutorial now, and then I'll talk about it when it's done. Final Cut Pro includes several cool balance color features. These are not really color corrections, but rather balance color, such as white balance. Balance color is not considered a color correction in Final Cut Pro, as it doesn't show up as a color correction in the inspector. You could say it's a mini correction or starting point for us non-colorist video editors. There are 4 processes involved when Final Cut Pro balances color. Manually white balance, analyze a clip for balance color, auto balance color, and match color. The first thing I'm going to do is set up my window layouts to monitor adjustments in color. I go up to the View menu, Show in Viewer video scopes or the keyboard shortcut Command 7. I have mine set under the scope to waveform and under the channels to RGB parade. If you don't know in which menu something is, try the search field under the Help menu. Here I start typing the word scope in the search field. When an image is properly color balanced, the RGB parade is equally distributed from the top to the bottom. Since I like this window layout for color correction and want to reuse it again, I want to save the layout. Go up to Window, Workspaces, Save Workspace As. I named mine Color Balancing, and then Save. If you revisit the window, Workspaces, we have Color Balancing. Let's start with manual white balance. What is white balancing? White balancing an image removes color casts and makes white objects in the image appear white. Select a clip in the timeline. Position the playhead over the clip so the clip's video is displayed in the viewer. Go to the Modify menu and you can choose Balance Color or the keyboard shortcut option Command B. Or you can go to the Viewer Enhancement pop-up menu and choose Balance Color. Once you do this, a Balance Color effect appears in the inspector. Go to the Method, Automatic, and choose White Balance. Notice an eyedropper appears. Take the eyedropper to the viewer. To set the white balance, click or drag over an area that should be pure white. Now before we do that, notice the slope of the RGB parade from left to right. So let's check this tablecloth. Click it, the video immediately changes. Now notice the RGB parade, it's much more balanced. When using the eyedropper, don't sample an area that's overexposed, such as a light source or a shiny highlight. Instead, select a properly exposed area of your picture that's white, like in this case, it's the tablecloth. After you apply a manual white balance correction, you can copy the correction to other clips for a consistent look. So we'll go down here, make sure the clip is selected, go up to the Edit menu, Copy. Select the next two clips, go back to the Edit menu, Paste Attributes, or the keyboard command, Shift Command V. Copied from, pasted to two clips. Now these two clips have the same white balance as the first one. Switching from white balance to automatic and back again seems to retain the established white balance. Notice it says you can click a white, gray, or black area in the image, not just white. If you want to choose a different section of your video to white balance, you can redo it just by resampling with the eyedropper. I wish we could access the balance color information when Final Cut Pro balances color, but all we get is an on and off checkbox. Let's talk about Auto Balance Color. Apply the balance color once again, keyboard shortcut option Command B, and let's talk about this automatic balance color. When you balance a color automatically, Final Cut Pro samples the darkest and lightest areas of the image's Luma channel and adjusts the shadows and highlights to neutralize any color cast. Final Cut Pro also adjusts the image to maximize contrast, so the shot occupies the widest available Luma range. That information is from the excellent Final Cut Pro documentation. So Final Cut Pro is using the position of this playhead for the reference frame when it does the auto balance color. You have to actually select the clip in the timeline or the browser. Just placing the playhead over it will not work. Balance color is grayed out. Another item for balance color in Final Cut Pro is analyzing a clip for balance color. With analyzing, Final Cut Pro looks at the entire clip and chooses a frame that is closest to being correctly balanced and uses that frame for its balanced color source frame. Analyze for balanced color does not actually apply a balanced color effect. It is only analysis. So if we go in here and choose this clip, right-click on the clip and choose Analyze and Fix. In the Analyze and Fix window, you can choose Analyze for balanced color. So analysis occurs on the entire clip. Another way you can analyze for balanced color is during import. Hit Command-I or click this button here, and you have Analyze and Fix, Analyze Video for balanced color. That'll do it on import automatically. Another way is Final Cut Pro Preferences. Final Cut Pro Preferences, Import, Analyze Video for balanced color. That's 3 places you can get your video analyzed for balanced color. If you don't want Final Cut Pro to choose the frame for balancing color, don't choose Analyze for balanced color. Instead, place your playhead over the clip and choose balanced color. That way you are deciding which frame is used for balanced color. If you've already analyzed a clip for balanced color and applied that balanced color, but you change your mind and now want to use the playhead to choose a frame, go up to the inspector and delete the existing balanced color, move your playhead to a new location, choose a new balanced color, and a new balanced color frame will be used. So the frame used as a reference for balancing color is either a frame chosen during balanced color analysis, in which case Final Cut Pro chooses it. It chooses the frame that is already the most properly color balanced. It could be the frame the playhead is on in the timeline, or if a clip is not analyzed and the playhead doesn't intersect it, the middle frame of the clip is used for balanced color. For example, if I choose this clip, but my playhead is over here, I can still balance color. So Final Cut Pro in this case is using the middle frame of this clip because the clip is selected, but the playhead is not over it, and it has not been analyzed for balanced color. By the way, the skimmer can also choose a frame to be used for balanced color. It takes precedence even over the playhead. If a clip has been color analyzed either during import or while in the browser, the analysis process extracts color information for the entire clip. If you add a portion of a clip to the timeline or multiple portions of the clip, the Balance Color feature chooses the frame within the project clip that is closest to being correctly balanced. In other words, if I add 4 clips to the timeline, each one of these clips has their own analyzed frame that is used for balanced color. The final balanced color item in Final Cut Pro is Match Color. To match color, select one or more clips in the timeline that you want to adjust. Choose Modify Match Color, or use the keyboard shortcut Option Command M, or use the enhancement pop-up menu at the bottom of the viewer and choose Match Color. The viewer changes to display the frame under the playhead on the right and the frame under the pointer on the left. So I'm going to choose this one, choose another one, choose this one. Each time the image on the right changes to match the color information found in the clip under the pointer. When you find a clip that you like, choose Apply Match. You can skim any clip in the timeline or the browser to find a frame with the color look that you want to match. You can also import a still image that has a look that you want. There's a few things about Match Color. Match Color always goes below Balance Color in the Effects tab. So right now we have this Match Color. If I add a Balance Color, balance color goes above the match color. You don't have any access to any controls other than on and off in the match color, just like balance color, but you can choose another frame if you don't like what you've matched. So there you have it, the many ways to balance color in Final Cut Pro. This is Richard Taylor. I'll see you in the next round. So there you have it. Let me turn that off. So were you surprised about any of the things for balancing color? There's a couple that I was surprised about. Number one is how Final Cut Pro uses the analyze for color balance. You're not actually putting an effect on the clip. You're just analyzing it. You have to choose to put the effect on the clip later. Now, the color balance. Now, here's the interesting thing is, the other thing is if you analyze a clip that's like an hour long and you take segments out of that and drop those segments into the timeline, each one of those clips has its own frame that's used to balance color. Every clip has its own frame that's used. And when you analyze, Final Cut Pro looks at the clip and decides which frame is already closest to being color balanced, and that's the frame that it chooses. The other thing is, if you can override the analyze for Final Cut Pro, the analyze for color balance by deleting it from the inspector, placing the playhead over the clip, and reapplying the balance color effect. The playhead takes precedence over what Final Cut Pro analyzed. And the other thing I was interested in was if you select the clip but the playhead's not over it and it hasn't been analyzed, Final Cut Pro chooses the middle frame for using balance color. So tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 noon Pacific, we are going to be interviewing Bradley Olson, the producer, my friend, co-editor of the Final Cut Pro documentary. Tomorrow here, Final Cut Pro TV Live. If you have any questions, I guess the best place, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Richard Taylor TV, all one word. Subscribe there and you'll be notified when we go live and other things. I go live not just with Final Cut Pro things, but mostly with Final Cut Pro things. I don't go live that much, but when I do, let me see here. Let's go Final Cut Pro. Have anything else I wanted to talk about? I think we're pretty well. I'm excited about NAB. How many of you are going to NAB? I'll see you there if you're going to be there. I'll be hanging out at the LumaForge Faster Together stage most during the day. I'll be doing live streaming if I have internet connection. I either need to use my phone or the internet connection is available. That's going to be the determining factor of when and where I live stream. Let's see. I think that's just about it. I want to thank Patrick Southern for coming on today from LumaForge, as always. If you get a chance, check out the latest version of Final Cut Pro Radio. We had Producer Girl, who has over 21,000 followers on Twitter. She's a big Final Cut Pro 10 fanatic. She edits with it. She loves using it. And we had Sam Messman from LumaForge on talking about things that are happening with LumaForge at NAB. But the most interesting thing is the grievance booth. I love that idea. You can go up and you can complain about whatever you want to, post-production related, and they're going to record you doing it, and they'll make a compilation video of that. Doesn't have to be Final Cut Pro related. It could be Premiere related, Avid related, post-production in general. One of the things I would complain about would be the lack of good audio. When people they pay attention to the video aspect and they don't pay enough attention to good audio. That would be one thing that I would complain about. When I teach Final Cut Pro, I'm a Final Cut Pro certified trainer for Apple. Invariably, students come with bad audio. They know they're supposed to pay attention to it, but they really don't. They pay attention to video. So that's what I would complain about. So if you want to comment, you can go to we can go to Final Cut Pro Radio's Facebook page, facebook.com/groups/Final Cut Pro Radio, or follow me on Twitter at Richard Taylor TV or at FCP Radio 1. You can comment there as well. You can make suggestions on who else we should have it for Final Cut Pro TV. Don't make any suggestions to bring anybody from Apple on, because that's very highly unlikely. It's not because they don't want to, it's because their hands are tied. They're not supposed to. I haven't been able to follow along on YouTube Live to see if there's any comments, but I will look at them and answer them as they come up, as I watch the replay. So if you don't have any other questions or anything, I'm going to sign off here. Tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 noon Pacific, we have an interview with Bradley Olson, the producer of Off the Tracks, the Final Cut Pro documentary, which he'll have the latest news about that. Thanks for joining in. This is Richard Taylor, signing off.